It's story time. I got a story for you. I just decided that I wanted to start telling some stories because that is something that I love to do, and I can. So I'm gonna. The story I'm gonna tell today is the story of Nora and the fireplace. You see, my oldest, her name is Nora, and she is an incredible little girl who enjoys testing boundaries. In our first apartment, or really the first apartment that Nora grew up in, was a fireplace, and the whole place was filled with carpeting except for some tiles that were right next to the fireplace. And we always told Nora that we wanted to teach her to not go on the tiles, even if there wasn't a fire. She was just young enough that she would know that was, there. I don't want my child running around the house with soot all over them, or grabbing hot coals or whatever, or even if there is a fire in the fireplace. We just wanted to make sure that she knew, like, the fireplace was off limits, like a normal person. You would assume a normal person would not want your child to be by the fireplace. So it was always just don't go on the tiles. Don't go on the tiles. Don't go on the tiles. So one day, Nora just learned how to walk. Walks in the room, and I'm sitting on the couch, just chilling, relaxing. And I look at her, and she looks at me, looks at the tiles, looks at me, and I can tell she's starting to process something. She's a little bit of a conniving, tiny little individual. And I'm like, Nora, what are you doing? She looks at me. She looks at the tiles and looks at me. I'm like, Nora, let's not do that. Let's not go to the tiles. So she walks towards the tiles, looks down at the tiles, looks at me, looks down at the tiles, and I'm like, no, Nora, this is, you don't put your, this child is like, I don't know, 1, 2, I don't know how old she is. She's a tiny little baby at this point. She's 7 now, but I'm having this moment where I'm like, she is so blatantly setting herself up for this moment. And so then she looks down, looks at me, she picks her foot up and stares at me, hovering it over the tiles, which surprises me because I didn't think that tiny child could stand on one leg. And she looks at me and she puts the foot down onto the tiles and looks at me like, what now, Pops? You say you dad? Then let's see it. Let's see you do a little something, huh? Come on, Dad. Let's go. In the meantime, my wife is sitting in the kitchen laughing her head off, and I'm trying to, like, poke her face like, oh, it's game time, sis. We're gonna play that game. We're gonna try these borders. It's game time. All that to say, I got my work cut out for me when she gets older.